All right, welcome to Between the Lines. We're going back to Coalfield. Brad has a mandatory requirement of 6 or 7 Coalfield shows a year. And I like to think of Coalfield, and I've called Coalfield over the years, it's kind of like Hoosiers. You remember the film Basketball movie with Hoosiers? Towns, Knight, and Ed, everybody likes everybody. It's kind of the way I saw it. It's a little smaller than Coalfield. We were just looking at numbers. Coalfield has 2,800 people, 27, 29. Wartburg City Limits is like 9. Oliver Springs is 12. No wonder we're beating them every year. I mean, that's part of it. Oz was always tough, though. All right, so Brad's kind of like remember the little kid who came in at the end of the game, he shot the ball underhand, he made one of his free throws, he never got to go into games? That's kind of like Brad's tradition there at Coalfield.
I gotcha.
He was pretty good, though, they tell me. I was from the Beach Basket era. We played Coalfield once. We beat them 99-41. Oak Ridge High School. Went on to the state. All right. Brian, you graduated from Coalfield. Mm-hmm. You come from Coalfield. Now, to me, let me tell you what I think of when I see Coalfield. I look at it, and I go up, and the first place is there's an X on there now. Right across the street.
Marathon.
Yeah, right. Right across the street is the compound where my wife and her mother and her sister Missy, who was 2000, Missy Bunch now, they all live up on that compound. Then you go down to the Coalfield store, you're right, and then you can turn left and go to the high school, or you can go straight. So that's kind of my world of Coalfield. If you go very much further, you're in Petros, to the right, so you kind of, but where do you fit 2,900 people in there, Brad? To the left,
Coalfield,
up the
Big Mountain. Yeah.
Up the left is there, so.
Fairview.
Fairview runs all the way out to.
But that's Fairview. That's not Coalfield. What's That's Fairview, though, right?
It's still considered Coalfield.
All right. Where'd you grow up? What part?
So I was in like Castell Road area.
Okay.
Fairview.
Okay, where were you?
Where was I?
Where'd you grow up?
Guy Jones?
I know that. Now, Guy Jones is down lower. And
Yeah, I live on Gotcha.
that's because your name, Guy Jones, or whatever your dad's name was, or grandpa. Okay. So how many students in the school, in high school?
160.
That's a good, yeah.
And you know what the next question is going to be? How many girls?
That I don't know.
About 8.
Okay, 80, half and half, right? So how many does it take to make a softball team?
It takes 9.
I got that. I mean, I played baseball and golf. I mean, but how many do you need? You can't have 9.
Realistically.
Somebody twists their ankle, you just forfeit, right?
Yeah, I mean, we
15?
did it this last year with 12. So that's.
But if you got to pick, you'd want 15 or 17 players, right?
I'd want, 14.
No designated hitter?
You can. Yeah.
You're allowed to? But you got to
You're
have
allowed
10
to.
to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Got to have 10 to do that.
Okay. I got it. So you've got to recruit and build this softball team. I know you're already involved. But from about, you got to pick 12 or 13 players out of 80. Okay. But I'm going to tell you straight up, there is no town more involved in sports in the history of Tennessee than that town.
Yeah.
You go to a football game, everybody's there. You go anywhere you go, Coalfield lives for sports. Agreed? Okay. So you got these girls, and you're working them. And I've seen the girls' basketball teams, and I've seen some of them, not too bad, pretty good athletes, got some stuff going. So what is the history and the tradition of the softball team?
Let's see where to start. So as far as the softball team goes, it's really been sporadic over the years. Like they've had a couple of good teams, a couple of good pitchers. I mean, some actually great pitchers.
They
State
had a girl
pitchers.
about 10 years ago. Remember the big tall girl who had the whip? I remember that because everyone was, huh? Fadnick. That was her because her mother mortgaged my house, yeah. And her son played football, right? Yeah, okay, now I got it all. So he went to Oak Ridge for a year. Okay, I'm catching up, Brent. So anyway, so you got all these kids. So every once in a while, and it's all pitching, right? I mean, realistically.
Yeah, realistically.
If you got a good pitcher, except at Tennessee where everybody just hits home runs.
Right.
But if you got a good pitcher, you're competitive.
Yeah, pitching's a big part of it, especially at this level.
And how many coaches do you have? Just you?
Me and I have another Tabitha Davis.
Okay.
She was the middle school coach last year.
Okay.
And she is moving up this year to assist.
Excuse me for rushing through it because of the time. Do you have somebody who works with the pitchers uniquely? You know
No, I can work with the pitchers, but they all have their own pitching coaches on the side.
Where do they get them from?
Typically Oak
Travel
Ridge.
ball,
Yeah,
Oak
travel ball. Yeah.
Okay. I got it. Is travel ball competitive in women's softball?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it is in baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a $20,000 year-round job for parents. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got a friend here, one of my closest friends, who's actually got a commercial. IB3, his son's he owns a company. His sons play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's from Philadelphia. I mean, they're on the road all the time. He's got a 10-year-old that's one of the best players in the country. And I mean, he's got to spend just mega bucks. I mean, it's got to be 40, 50,000 a year traveling, teaching him. UT players coach him, come over and help him in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Good little player. I mean, he can really play and center. Okay, so how many players you got? 12 players on your team.
That was last year. This year, we're looking to have probably 17 or 18.
Good freshman class.
Oh, great freshman class. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, it's great.
Yeah, freshman class is great. So this crew coming up, the last year, they've won back-to-back district titles. 2 years ago, they had a state appearance. So it's a really good group coming up.
Is there some pitching talent in that group?
Yeah, there's pitching talent.
I keep coming back to pitching. My dad said everything. He's a professional baseball player. He said everything's pitching. So, okay, we got all that going. We got these kids. They're coming. They're all in the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all in the school. I did this a problem. If you're homeschool, you can still play in a local sports, can't you, Brad? You have any
Yes.
homeschool kids on your team?
No, I don't think we have any homeschool
Well,
kids.
Coalfield's kind of got that same spirit of community and conservative and Tennessee values that homeschooling would really. There's a lot of people. You get along good with the administration?
Yeah.
What are you going to say, right? I mean, I remember I went to see the principal and coach the week that he went to the South Pittsburgh game and spent an hour with him. Of course, he got sick, and the rest of the stories, football stories, great. But really pretty good. Is the Oak Ridge guy still the principal? You got rid of him? Okay.
No, he's at central office.
Everybody moves to the central office. I guess that's a promotion. But he was okay. He was a nice guy and everything. So we got our players. We got them laid out. You anticipate a good year because you're going to have freshmen playing right away, right?
Yeah.
And you got a good stuff. Okay, you got good. So take me from tryouts to the state championship. What do you got to do?
Okay.
Single A?
Single A.
Okay.
Yeah. So tryouts, that'll happen like January, February.
Oh, that late? Okay.
I mean, we pretty much know who's gonna be on there. I mean, that is.
I got you.
Yeah. The other thing you said, like, there's
what
not
I
a
meant
lot
by
coming up.
tryouts, what I meant,
Yeah.
you start going. You start your program.
Yeah. So we start playing in February, and then you go through the regular season. You have your districts, then you have your sectionals.
Okay.
Brad, you have to correct me on this because regional, sectional, and then after sectionals, you go to the state championship.
But I'm more concerned with your team. You start batting practice in January and February. When's your first game?
February, mid to end February,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. And you play in a district? Name some teams in your district.
Wartburg, Oakdale, Oliver Springs, Sunbright.
You know what's interesting? I've said this story in there before, but I was a competitive baseball pitcher in Oak Ridge, pretty good in my day in the early 70s. Well, Jay Ebel, I guess he played for Oakdale, but Jay, who was a dentist in Harriman for years, was one of the best pitchers in the state. Big, left-handed. I mean, we played on the same team. We were both all-stars. They just hoped I pitched because he was so good. He played for Memphis State and then went on the pro. But
Howard was better.
Huh?
Brad Howard was better.
Nobody's better than Jay Ebel. Yeah, you're preaching LeBron and I'm preaching Bird and Magic. Okay, but I'm telling you, that whipping left-hander can do anything. But anyway, to make a long story short, a lot of tradition. I played for Oakdale one summer.
Okay.
I left the Oak Ridge program. I didn't know the drive at the time, but I went up there. I love that little community. They were so supportive, and we traveled a lot. We played in Knoxville. We were good because we had pitching, but et cetera, et cetera. But I love the sports. So what kind of budget do they give you?
Budget starting off is, I think we have less than $2,000 right now.
What do you do with that $2,000?
Pay for umpires, pretty much. So the rest is all fundraising, everything for uniforms and helmets, any kind of training accessories we need.
Does the baseball team have to do that?
Yeah, they have, and donations are part of it too.
Okay. I gave the football program like $500 a year whenever I could back in the days when Logan was playing, but I mean, whatever it takes, but et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to tell you one more thing too, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the competition. We have the opportunity, it's up to your players to work it, but we have the opportunity to do auctions on this channel, and we never raise under $1,500.
Okay.
because you go out and your kids get donations from all the businesses and Olive Springs, wherever, Oak Ridge, get nobody. It doesn't matter whether they're loyal. They want to go. They want to bid on the $50 gift card or whatever.
Right.
But if you get into a position, you'll want to think about that because me and Brad really like to help. We like to help Coalfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk more about that. There's a lot of rivalries in your district. I mean, Oliver Springs, I guess, are a zone above you maybe, but I mean, they're one district up or whatever. More so. But all of those teams play and beat each other. Who's the best softball team in that area? Who do you worry about the most?
I would say right now it would be Wartburg. Yeah,
They're getting players from.
they have a great team. They went to the state this year.
Wow.
Won a game. I think they have quite a few that are returning from that as well. So they're going to be tough.
Interesting. Wartburg. What you thought about that, Brad? Do you think Wartburg? Of course, they dominated you in basketball when you coached at Coalfield. That's part of. She played basketball.
Her son played for him.
Oh. Your son played for him?
Yeah.
He's a basketball player. How old is he now?
Well, the one they're talking about that played for Brad is 19.
Good.
He got his ankle broken in the sport.
Mama didn't like that, did she?
Nah.
Is that the game you got in trouble for?
Same game.
Well, no wonder you
Yeah.
were mad. They were breaking ankles and stuff.
Exactly.
So the parents supported Brad in that one, didn't they? Okay, so yeah, that's the way I am. If my son ever got hurt, my wife would go through the roof to get stuff done. Okay, that's good. I get a picture of everything. So we have these players, and it's a normal team. You have 9 players, just like in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking for any adjustments for Sinclair or anything, et cetera, et cetera. 7 or 9 innings.
7.
So we have a 7-inning game. Extra innings are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You got any players that are potentially college players?
Yeah, we have a couple of seniors that are potential college.
Good. And what positions do they play?
Pitcher and then shortstop. Yeah, pitcher, shortstop, and then basically just anywhere in the infield, middle infield.
That's good. That's where it's at. You got it up the middle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, as my dad always taught me. He played second up in the St. Louis organization. He said, up the middle, you got to be strong up the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have. Let's talk about the facilities. I've been to Coalfield High School many times. Not recently, not in the last 4 or 5 years. Great baseball facility. Nice. Where do you play softball?
It's in the same park over to the left. So the baseball field's up on the right. You come in, it's on the left.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah.
I know where it is. It's over there because I umpired there. I know what you're talking about. They play baseball there too in the summer league.
Yeah, they'll play and some t-ball stuff like that. They play on that field as well.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I can't remember. We came down with our kids and did something of that nature. All right. So, what do you have to do to be good enough this year to compete against Wartburg and those teams? Where are your challenges? I want to know how softball programs run. I really don't know. You get what time? After school, you go to the field.
Yep, after school you go to the field. The biggest thing is the hitting. I mean, like you said, pitching's very important, but at the same time, if you can't hit or you can't consistently hit, or have good at bats, have base runners. Really, I know it sounds obvious, but
No. That's part of it. Yeah.
Kids have to do work on their own if you really want to be hitting consistently, especially at the
Some
state
of my
level.
friends that were softball players 30 years ago, I mean, they could bench 250. I mean, they were strong girls. I mean, they were just physically strong. Do you still see that, or do we have the wiry kids, or what are we seeing these days?
Yeah, it's a mixture still.
Good.
I would
That's
say,
all right.
yeah.
Tell me what you think about Caitlin Clark. I mean, like in women's athletics, you're coaching, you got this going on. What do you think about all of the attention that one athlete gets? Do you have a problem? You got 10 kids, they all close, they get along well?
Yeah, they all seem to get along well. I mean, as of right now, I mean, yeah, that can change overnight, but for the most part, culture is something that I'm going to be really big focusing on.
Do you define culture? You mean the environment within the team?
Yeah, environment within the team.
Camaraderie. I think at Coalfield that'd be an easier challenge in some places. I think kids get along at Coalfield.
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Yeah, there's some rivalry in the parents now. I know some of the parent sponsors and stuff. I won't mention any names, but, I mean, there's some you expect their kids to play. That's 10, 20 years ago now, not current. But in these small towns, it gets tough. You got one person that carries a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have enough talent on this team, and I think that's not going to be an issue. It would be it's going to be obvious who. If you're doing anything like that, it would be obvious, and I would never do it.
I don't think softball has that kind of play that, that basketball and some other sports do. Football in Coalfield, of course, obviously is more of a religion than a sport, but they do a lot of great things there. I've been to a lot of games. They went to state a few years ago in Cookville, and I went down there and watched them. Get a lot of that. So I think you have the tradition, you have the stuff. How long is the Coalfield program, women's softball program? 10 years, 20 years? Have they played forever?
As long as I can remember.
Brad, how long they played women's softball?
Susie Wilkins started it. Susie Boyd.
I know what
That
you're
was
talking.
in,
90s?
no, 80, probably started at 84, maybe, 83, 84,
You graduated in 7?
87.
We didn't even start basketball at Oak Ridge until 76, I think it was, or 77. It was intramural till then. Because programs that come up, are you adequately staffed with equipment? Do you have good equipment, bats? I went to buy a softball bat the other day, or about other month or two. Oh, they're not cheap. I can remember when I used to buy them for $120. This kid went in there and said, wanted a bat. It was $490 for a bat.
Yeah, they're expensive. The good thing is there's Play It Again Sports in Knoxville. You can trade in used bats and everything.
I like that. Where's that at?
It's in Knoxville, same shopping center as Big Lots, across from Academy.
Wow. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so a lot of people will trade bats in,
Cedar Bluff
credit
up there.
towards a new one.
They do that, and then they sell the used one?
They resell the used ones. Yep.
Isn't that interesting? Give me 2 minutes to take a break. Chandler, you got me? Okay.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Prescription drug misuse is a prevalent and potentially fatal problem. When people do not properly monitor, store, and dispose their medications, it can create an opportunity for misuse. Count it. Make it a goal to count your pills once every 2 weeks. Like it. Secure your medications at home. Drop it. Drop off unused or expired medications for proper disposal at any police department in Anderson County. For more info, visit asapofanderson.org. Brought to you by ASAP of Anderson. Prevention works.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference, so we can all continue to move forward together.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back. We're talking about Coalfield women's sports, and right now we're talking about softball. And we're talking to Ryan Parsons, who's a first-year coach, and he's married to former basketball player Brittany Mullis, and now Brittany Parsons, right? Excuse me for that.
Carson.
Yeah, Parsons. How am I doing? All right. So anyway, how do we help the program? What can we do? You got more players this year. That's a gift to all those eighth graders coming up, et cetera. How do we help? What do we do? Is there something we need to pick up the phone, call the administration, and say, look, you need to do this or that? et cetera, et cetera? Or do you need to get in here and we need, if you go to a trip, you come to a trip and you call us, we'll raise some money for you. I mean, it's not hard for us to do. We've raised a lot of money over the years, thousands.
Yeah,
in fact, I just had to get $4,000, Brad, to help, donated to help clean up the field turf. Blankenship. Neil's coming down, O'Donnell, remember the quarterback here? He's coming back down to business, have dinner, and do some cleaning up and travel and stuff. But we need help, Coalfield, do that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take 4,000 if you got it.
Yeah, it's not on me, but that's it. Anyway, I like volleyball a lot. There she is. So I'm telling you that there's a lot to be done over there. I just love this community and all their sports focus. It's incredible. But I call it the house that Brad built. Brad, who's the best ball player in softball you ever knew came out of that area? We knew Fadnick was great. Yeah. Where'd she go to college? Carson?
What?
We're still talking about softball, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were all college players.
Interesting. Does the school do enough to book? Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier because I'm still didn't finish that conversation. We have a district tournament that's right there in the area. Mm-hmm. All those schools. If you win, you go to the region. Which direction is the region? Is it towards Crossville? Is it towards Harriman and Roane County? If you play in a region, where do you play? What single A teams are you playing against?
It's different every year. Well, I mean, not every year, but it's changed recently. Help me out, Brad.
It's the Harriman-Rockwood.
Harriman-Rockwood.
Midway.
Yeah, that.
We play those things in football.
In a region.
Oh, is that in a region? Okay.
Yeah. Football is set as regions.
There's no district. Got it. They have to play district and then they play region.
Yeah.
Volleyball's worse.
We'll get to that. So, and that's where we're at. Okay. So, what about catcher?
Catcher.
I know you got one. I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, we got one.
If you got good pitchers, catcher can be important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, catcher's very important.
What do you tell kids? What do you tell kids in Coalfield? What do they need to be practicing? What do they need to be doing?
They need to be doing stuff on their own, number one, like hitting. I mean, really, on some, like, I'm good with anything softball related. Like,
you know, I used to practice when I was a kid. I'd throw the ball up, and I'd try to hit it and catch it and do all that. I mean, you can do some stuff, but there's so many machines now.
Yeah.
And there's places. Where are the places to learn softball in Knoxville? Aren't there some centers over there where you can go practice, take swings?
There is. I mean, you can also go to NLP in Oliver Springs. So that's a new one.
Where's NLP in Oliver Springs? That's a good one.
It is. It's right across from, or the same shopping center as Beach Park.
I haven't improved. What?
The old Tri-County Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, old Tri-County Mall. There you go.
Up there where the theaters were and then the church. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it do up there? What does this place do? Is it like a sports training center? Like Driscoll stuff in Knoxville? Wow. And is it specifically for softball?
No, it's for everything. They have basketball there too. They have, weights. People can work out, train for any
Basketball
sport, really.
court?
Yeah.
Okay, what about softball? You got a net?
Yeah, they got a net. They have turf, a few cages.
Okay, that's good, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's exciting. Kids can do some of your kids go over there?
Yeah, they do.
How much does it cost to practice over there?
I believe it's $50 an hour is what the school rate was for the turf. No, it was more than that. 90 maybe for an hour and a half, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Now, what sports are you two kids going to go into? Break it down for me, Brittany or Ryan. What's the ages of your children? 19's gone, right? He's not in school.
Yeah, then we got 13 and 16.
Okay, boys?
13's a girl, 16's a boy.
Is that 13-year-old girl a good athlete? Oh, yeah, you said she's coming up.
Eighth grader.
Eighth grader staying down. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. What's the 16-year-old do?
Football.
You said it. And then is there a fourth one younger?
No.
Go the other way.
Other way.
Okay, I got you. That's exciting, though.
Yeah.
I have one son, but I really think, I say it's easy to say, but you have a lot of kids is a great thing, I think. That's great for family, great for the country, great for everybody, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk about the youngest one. First name? No, I mean the player, 8th grade player.
Addie.
I love that name. That's a girl, right? Mm-hmm. There's an Addie that works at Food City. There's an Addie that does this. There's little Addies all over the place. Kids, good kids. So Addie, okay. If it's Addie, she's going to be an infielder.
She's outfielder, actually.
Okay,
She's a left-hander. No, she pitches some.
Okay.
But mostly outfield.
So what happened, Brittany? She's been hanging around her dad all these years and she learned the game, right? The youngest daughter's always close to the father. The oldest son is close to the mother. And that's the way it breaks down usually. I'm talking about my training and everything, et cetera. So the oldest daughter is close to the father. That's usually when they hang around the dad. But when you got 4 and you got 2, the matrix changes a little bit, I think, et cetera, et cetera. So we got Coalfield softball. You got a schedule yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, it's going to come together, though. This is your first time. Tell me about your coaching career before we go off the air. When did you start doing this? Obviously, a long time ago.
Yeah, probably 7 years ago.
And you just decided to get involved? Where do you work?
I work online. Actually, I work remotely.
Okay.
So I coach businesses, gym owners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That fits right in your world.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you got that going on, and you started getting involved with travel ball, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, travel ball. I got sucked into it, and then, here.
Well, you had kids playing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was trying to just be a dad, but it, didn't work out that way. Here we are.
That's exciting. Okay. You excited, Brad? Ryan Parsons, the new
Carson.
Why did you put Carson? Brittany, I'm sorry. Okay. Is it Carson, like just simple Carson, not an S on it?
No S.
Just a Carson. Like, I got it. Carson City, Nevada. I got it.
That's
Carson.
it.
Gosh almighty. So anyway, Brittany and Ryan Carson, 4 children, and Ryan's going to be the new head softball coach. I got the sport right. At Coalfield this year, and they've got I got a lot of talent coming up. We're going to find out about volleyball. We're going to get it going. Okay, I got to get a check to you. I'm just going to make a donation because I may just get it to Addie and just forget about the rest of you and just mail it directly. But yeah, why doesn't that not surprise me? We'll get it done. She'll spend it. But I can tell you'd spend everything on your kids anyway, so that's a good thing. All right.
Yeah, don't listen to that.
That was great. When you have 4 kids, though, you don't get much for yourself. So any chance you get, you got to take it, right? All right. So anyway, Coalfield will start their softball program. It looks like the next couple of years is going to be really good. We need you to get involved and help. If you live in Coalfield, get involved in the softball program. The girls' softball find out what's going on. The boys had a great year. They went to state, didn't they, again? 98, when Sabre was a senior, they won the state championship. So they've got a lot going on. But the girls' softball team is building. Furthest you've ever gone in the program at Coalfield? You ever been to the region?
They made it to state twice, I believe, over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
over the last 20 years, I think they've been twice.
pitching, probably. Yeah, somebody like that, right?
And then I think Anna Smith went one year when she was pitching, I believe.
Huh. Interesting. Anyway, we got some young talent, and we got a chance to go back. But programs need help. We want you to get out and help these young ladies, and we want you to help these coaches. And, Ron, I appreciate you being involved.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
And I'll get some money to you. We'll figure it out.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference. So we can all continue to move forward together.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
Prescription drug misuse is a prevalent and potentially fatal problem. When people do not properly monitor, store, and dispose their medications, it can create an opportunity for misuse. Count it. Make it a goal to count your pills once every 2 weeks. Lock it. Secure your medications at home. Drop it. Drop off unused or expired medications for proper disposal at any police department in Anderson County. For more info, visit asapofanderson.org. Brought to you by ASAP of Anderson. Prevention works.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
All right, I'm talking to Jessica Stubbs about the new volleyball program. And that's where they put the net across, and boom, I got confused. And so we're good. Her husband Luke's here in the studio, too. Luke, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Claxton, pretty much.
Okay, we'll call that a community. I know it well. The Wandales and everybody. Okay, that's good. And then the hardware store, we lost her. That was terrible. That was terrible.
That was a sad day.
Mayor, when the mayor went, we were in trouble, weren't we? She was a wonderful person. Johnny's a wonderful person. Okay, well, we're going to talk about volleyball in Coalfield. Where were you last year?
I was the assistant coach for Susan.
Yeah.
Coalfield.
Okay, so you've been at Coalfield how long?
I've been at Coalfield for 2 years.
Okay, and what do you do when you're not coaching volleyball?
I raise children.
How many children do you got?
4.
Was that like a requirement at Coalfield or something? Everybody's got 4 kids? How old are your kids?
Let's see. I have almost 14-year-old, 12, almost 10, and almost 7.
Those are great ages.
Yeah.
Busy ages.
Very
are
busy.
you, what's the word I'm for? Where you went to Clinton? What year did you graduate?
06.
Got a lot of people back in that area. Most of my interns were a little younger than that, 01, 02, 03. But yeah, 06 was, that's a good time in there.
It was.
So you graduated from there. Take me through it. You get out of high school, what do you do?
Go to Pillissippi, graduate with an associate's in business,
Okay.
and married that hunk over there.
Was that associate's degree worth anything? In the long run?
Got me some good jobs.
Okay, that's all it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's good. A lot of people get associates and they say, well, I couldn't really find anything. So I never know how that works on all that stuff. Okay, so you went to work. What do you do now?
Actually,
A mother, I got
yeah, I'm a mom, and I am not in my typical career path with business or business management.
So Luke's making so much money you don't have to worry about it.
That hunk over there.
As they get older, hunk relates to money more than build.
Right, you got to build them up a little bit.
You got to get him how he's coming. He's bringing the bucks. Okay.
Yeah.
So all your kids, any of your kids play for you?
No, but we have the middle school program that's starting, and my daughter, who is 12, is looking to get into that sport. So hopefully she'll come up and play.
It's kind of great, Brad. It's kind of great. All these young people are coming in to coach. You know, I mean, just energize Coalfield a little bit. Did y'all move to Coalfield, or you still live in Clinton?
We did move to Coalfield in 2012, and we stayed there until 2020. House market went up, and we've always dreamed about building, and we just completed our house. So.
Where?
In between Oliver Springs and Clinton.
On the highway going back to there? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I was down there the other day. It's called Oliver Springs Highway, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, the address is, yeah. That's great. Okay, so that's not a bad drive. That's 5 miles near school. And get your thing done. It's a great area, yeah. You right on the highway, or are you back off the highway?
We're back off the highway,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so you got volleyball, a little bit different sport, more conditioning, I would say.
Yeah, it's a lot of core and leg conditioning.
What core?
Just to have that explosive hit. You have to be able to stay balanced and move that ball where you want it to. So moving your shoulders.
You know, I played softball and I played volleyball intramurally. You know, I played college basketball. We played everything. We had fun. And volleyball always was good conditioning because you had to jump so much.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of stuff. What's the top of the net, 8 feet?
I don't know. Probably.
How tall is the top of the net? Dad, Brad's looking at you like, how can you not know that?
I should know that, but I don't.
And does it change? Does it change at every level? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that either.
I know that the officials come in and they drop their thing and check it. And we haven't been pinpointed.
If you take the tallest girl on your team and she puts her hand up, how far from the top of the net is it?
I think Boo is about a whole hand and a half over it.
Over it?
Yes, she's tall. She's got a wingspan.
6 foot.
Yeah.
9 foot.
7 foot.
No. No. No.
You don't
no,
think
no.
it's 7 feet high?
I should have known this. You shouldn't have asked me this.
We can Google, somebody Google it. I mean, it's easy. I figured you work as you're an information guru, et cetera, et cetera. So how many players on the team? Tell me how you do it. It's a fall sport, right?
It is a fall
So
sport.
you're getting ready to go.
Yes. We actually cannot have our first official game until August 19th.
TWSAA does that, don't they?
Yeah, they changed it this time. And we will be done with our regular season by September 30th. It's quick.
7-4.
7-4.
That's pretty good. That's about right. I mean, my reach, if I'm on my toes, is right at 8 feet. So, and I'm 6'3", so that sounds about right.
That's men's height is 8 feet.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. So the women's is 7. Okay. And so you have how many players? Let me think. 6 players on the court at a time? So I remember that, Brad, because you'd have to rotate. And I'd always try to cheat and get to the server spot as many times as I could. So you're rotating through
Be out
the
of
system.
rotation.
But if that means that no matter who you are, you play in every spot.
You could, but we have people that come in and do a job on the back instead of.
Okay, how's that work?
We have subs.
I got 3 people up front who are spikers, bigger,
Yeah.
whatever you call them. In the back, I got my set people, my whatever. But don't they have to rotate to the front?
They
of
do
that?
rotate to the front. So if I have somebody playing back row that rotates to the front and they are not optimal on front row, I sub somebody in for her to play the front row.
Can she come back in when you get back to the back row?
Yeah, she can come back anytime, but she has to just sub in for that specific player that subbed in for her. Does that make sense?
Let's think about that. So you sub in here, and then they come back out, so you take that person back out. So can you do that all over and over again?
Yes, but there's a set amount of times that you can sub
I would
somebody
think
in.
so. I would think so, or you'd never let them play in the front row ever. I mean, if they're 5'6" and a good setter, playmaker, whatever you want to call them, and you don't want them on the front row because they don't have the blocking ability or whatever, and you rotate them out. You'd rotate them out every time you did that if you could. So,
Right.
but there's limitations.
Right.
Do you try to train your players to do every position?
Yes, but I know limits, so I don't waste time trying to get them to play front row when I know that they're just going to be better suited back row or vice versa. So I just focus more on that position for that one player. But I do have a lot of versatile players.
I always loved to serve, and I was pretty good at it and different things in our mural. And question is, do you serve underhand or overhand?
Overhand. Yeah. We
I
have
do
some
too. I
that
do
will
too.
come on JV that need to do that until they get their strength up in their arm.
You're right.
But we.
Yeah, but if I throw it up and I hit it, I can hit it right to that spot over there where they have trouble digging it out. Digging
Okay.
is the word too, right?
So you can
Yeah.
position your serves.
I position my serves and I hit them hard. I may get them right over the
Are
net.
you a
They go-
floater? Float serve?
Only if I see an opening or something that
Okay.
makes floating. You were talking about 20 years ago. Floating, I may see a weakness or I see something that I'm going to try to float it over the first line and drop it in. Most of the time, though, I'm hitting a hard shot to the back row. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if they get to front row, they're going to deflect it anyway, block it anyway. Maybe not at this age, but you know.
Right. That's not they want to set it up and get a good hit, not
Do you
just a
teach them
deflection.
to go 3 times before they go over?
I prefer that. Yeah, I can get a good set, but sometimes it's not optimal to do that.
Isn't there risk in that? I mean, they may not set it correctly, and now, like you set it one time, and this girl sets it going that way instead of that way, and now you got to dig it out to get it over rather than getting a set.
Right. We do some drills like it's called out of system drills that they know if the set's not optimal, just to get behind it and try and hit. If not, just get it back over. We worked on that drill today.
Yeah, I mean, getting it
So,
over is
yeah.
kind of crucial.
But yeah.
How many would you see, like we could say a team with Shaq O'Neal or a team with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or those guys would, but we would call them an inside team, a physical team, right? Whereas if we had, guard shooters outside, that would define our team more or less.
Right.
What would define Coalfield this year? Where are your skill set players at?
Well,
Where's your best player playing?
everywhere. Very versatile. Very
How
versatile.
tall?
Well,
You got anybody can climb the net?
oh yeah. I've got one outside hitter, and she can jump just as high as our tallest player if
Okay.
needed. We have a freshman coming up that has so much potential. She's just
Coalfield's rolling in
Yeah.
freshmen this year in all sports. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, and I'm so glad to have that freshman. And I don't know, we have a good, well-rounded team.
How many players on the team?
Right now we're sitting at 20.
Why so many for a 6-man roster?
Well, we have
6
JV. We have JV.
Okay.
So we'll probably have about 10.
Does it require more
Varsity.
subbing? Do they get tired?
Say that again?
Does it require more substitutions? Is fatigue an issue?
No, fatigue's not an issue. Mental fatigue is. That
Okay,
happens.
explain that.
Some people just get in their head too much and cannot get out of their mind.
see that.
And so we have to sub for
It's
mental
a right
fatigue
up
more.
close game.
Yes,
I can
yeah.
see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
so that can
Never
get
thought
tiring.
about it, but I can see that.
Yeah, so we work on our mind strength
I mean,
instead
there'll be
of.
some trash talking on the front line. Yeah, I mean, mine on the back line, but front line you might see some
You might.
trash talking.
Yeah.
You stay there all day, you ain't gonna stop me. I mean, Larry Bird stuff, you can stay all over. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Brad, you ever trash talk on the front line of volleyball? No.
I wasn't a trash talker.
I'd like to say that. Sometimes you can get in people's head, in basketball especially.
My game didn't talk.
That sounds great, Brad. You can do that, but sometimes it helps. Larry Bird trash talked every time up and down the court, but he was a good player. That's different. Okay, so we've got 6. How many returners from last year on your starting team? You're a new coach, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've got 5 returning on the starting team.
That's not bad.
No. Well, I've got one more that's come back. She was on the, on the.
Outs.
Yeah, but she has decided to come back. So we've
She
got
didn't
6.
play last year, right?
She did play last year.
How did
She started some.
How did she slide in the outs?
Just
was it
more focus
last
on.
year or this year she was out? When was she out
Just in between seasons.
Okay, I got
Just
it.
in between seasons. So
said
she didn't miss.
She wasn't going to play, then she
Yeah,
was. I got you.
yeah.
I
So
got
we're
you.
glad that she has committed again.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So that's talent. So you got some people. What, in softball, you got to have pitching. It's just absolute. What do you got to have in volleyball?
Good serves, good spikes, and good digs. I mean, those
That's
are the
the whole
things.
game.
And sets are absolute must. So,
Well, you're always going to have an opportunity for good serves. And you're
Yeah.
usually going to have a good opportunity during the game for spikes. And I would say at a younger age, digs will be the hardest thing to learn.
it is kind of intimidating
wa-
with some players.
You watch college volleyball, those, they got to get down. They dig off. They dig 80 mile an hour, banging on the ground, getting it
Yeah.
out. I don't know how they do it.
So,
You play?
I did play in high school for Coach Zellner.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Coach Vellner doing?
She's retired, living her best life, I guess.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
That's good. All right, let's take a break. We'll take a 2 or 3 minute break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about Coalfield volleyball.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference. So we can all continue to move forward together.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right?
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was point man in foot patrol, and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the right support, there are no limits.
Look at that smile! You did it!
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
This has meant so much.
Thank you, DAV.
Alex Hussey, thank you for your service. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
Coalfield Volleyball tonight, folks. Coalfield Volleyball. Tell me about the history. We ever win the state, win the region? What have we done?
We have won district this past year, and I know that they won a couple years ago with Coach Susan, and she really wanted to get it this year, and she got it. So we've got another banner hanging in the gym, and we are after that title again, and hopefully to go on and win regionals and go on.
Competition in the district, Warburg?
Wartburg, Oakdale.
It's a huge district.
Yeah, I got to cheer for Oakdale at all times. I can't. I told her I played baseball for Oakdale one summer. Not school ball, but in summer travel ball. I always had one. We had so much fun. So we got 20 players. We got 6 on the court. You're getting all new uniforms.
Yes.
And you got to raise it. Have you raised it?
We've raised some of it, not just the uniforms, but we have to cover costs of officials, different.
Can't the parents cover the cost of the kids' uniform? It's an idea.
Susan has set a standard, and I want to keep it going. Everything was free for those kids. They fundraised, and we made sure they got what they needed.
If I have capacity, okay? If my kid was playing for USA, let me buy my kids, and you worry about everybody else.
Yeah.
There should be some of that. I mean, I would think there's some of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get that's all basically, or different things you can do for the team, et cetera, et cetera. But I think brand matters. I think the identity matters. That if kids see it as a special, they do football. If they see it as a special thing, then they want to play for you and they want to be part of the girls' program more. So I think I don't put a lot of. I don't know what Sean sees it like, but I think that you can get it to where everybody says, God, I want to wear that uniform, or I want to be part of that thing. It's no different than scheduling an away game, which are the Rome State coaches, scheduling an away game in Middle Tennessee somewhere, Page High School or some other high school. They're taking a first-class bus. Now, I understand that's $1,000 and all that stuff, but if the kids do that one time a year, they'll remember that next year and they'll want to go on that trip.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play because I want to go on that trip, and I'm going to do those kind of things. So I think it's important that programs make those things available and do stuff. Tell me about when you sit down and you look at a sheet of your budgets. Obviously, volleyballs are on the sheet. What else do you have to have? Nets?
Net is good right now.
How many nets you have?
We only have one.
Wow.
Only have one.
I come and the net gets torn and we're having a home game, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to get my setters a setter's hoop so they can position and work on their setting.
A setter's hoop? How interesting. What is that?
It's kind of like a basketball hoop, a little bit wider. It's got a net, and they just set it up and
they try to set it in the hoop or towards the hoop?
Yeah. So that helps them. I would love to get that. I would love to be able to make sure that all of their costs, like I said, is covered with their knee pads, shorts, shoes.
What time are games?
Timer games, let's see, 5:30 is JV start time, 6:30.
So it's an evening game, not an afternoon game.
Yeah.
And so the parents can come. That's right. Makes sense. So I do that. Do you take them to eat? You have pregame meals?
We typically don't. That's not been something that we've been able to budget in. Susan and I have budgeted ourselves out of our pockets for them.
Sure.
But this year, I would love to be able to provide them a meal before games.
And where do they go? I mean, Oak Ridge eats in the cafeteria, or they'll go to some restaurant or something. I buy the team when Oak Ridge girls. I'm friends with Paige. When Oak Ridge girls go to the state championship, I always try to buy a meal in Nashville and stuff for everybody. But where do they go in Coalfield to eat? Oliver Springs.
We've got Subway, and we've got Snack and Pack or Snack Shack. That's what
Well,
it's
you would
called.
bring the meal into the gym, though.
Yes. Yeah, we would order it to go and bring it into the gym is what we
Oak
typically
Ridge
do.
isn't very far, though. You could
No.
actually do a pregame meal at 4 o'clock or 4:30. And
Yeah, we got Coalfield Diner that's just right down the road, too.
where's Coalfield done?
It's right up Highway 62. Yeah.
I'm not even going to touch that. What? So if I come to the Fork, which way do I go?
On Guy Jones Road, you said you knew where Guy Jones Road
I think so.
You know
If
where
I'm
Snack and Pack is?
That's religious.
Yeah,
That's,
so you
that's
go
a
right
shrine.
past the Snack and Pack.
Go straight.
Straight past the Snack and Pack,
That's
about
it.
a quarter of a mile.
On the left or
On
the
the
right?
left.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. A white brick building or something up there on the left?
Log cabin.
Ain't that nice? I got to get back out there more often. My father-in-law died, and just don't go out as much as I used to. That's interesting. Okay, because Saber's mother lives right in there in the compound across from. That's what I call it, because there's 4 houses they all own them. It's right across from is it Exxon or Marathon? Marathon up on the hill there. Yeah, so I don't have to go out very far, so I don't get out much and do that stuff. Used to go to high school. My sister-in-law's little boy played football for 2 or 3 years for Coalfield. He's 20 now, so I used to go back out there, but that's it. So you practice in the gym?
Yes, we
No,
do.
basketball's in the gym. How do you do that?
Fight? No, I'm just joking. We just work it together and work out schedules. Right now, we've been working out schedules in June, and they should be wrapping up by the end of June, and from the dead period on, it's volleyball. So it'll be.
In-season sports get priority.
Yes.
So in season for volleyball.
It's
August, September, October.
well, in season actually starts the beginning of June. As soon as school is released, that is season.
So you get and basketball's done with their
Yeah.
summer camps and stuff. You get in. You practice on half court, just a half court of the gym.
No, we have the full court, the way it's set up in there.
You have to condition.
Yeah, but the volleyball net is set up at mid-court, at half court, so we have both sides.
Both sides on the basket.
Yeah.
Not halfway, but
Right. Clinton is set up, they have the whole court, and then they have 2.
That's correct.
Yeah, which would be nice, but we would have to be able to afford another net and different settings for the floor for.
You were the assistant coach this year.
And last year, yeah. Susan was
2 years.
gracious.
How many
yeah.
players did you have on your team the last 2 years?
I think the year before we had 22, maybe 24, and this year I think we wound up with 20.
We don't cut people.
No, typically we don't. No.
No, they just do what they can do to be a part of the team.
Yes.
And then if you had to pick a top 10 or 12, would that be easy to do? I mean, there's a big gap between the 10 and the 12.
Yeah, well, we have all these girls that have been playing for the last 4 years.
Right.
And then we have our middle school that has not seen the sport at all.
So your
This is
20
new to
includes the
them.
middle school team.
So, yes.
I got you. All right. I
Yeah,
got you.
so we'll have a JV team.
So when the varsity comes,
Mm-hmm.
no, wait a minute, you say JV. JV to me is 9th and 10th grade, but 7th and 8th grade is junior high, right? Or middle school.
Middle school. Mhm.
And 6, 7, 8, and they'll be part of your 20. If the program is 20.
No, 6, 7, 8 will not be. That'll be middle school.
They'll have more kids in that group. Okay.
Yes, middle school has a team.
Overlap, play for 7th, play for you too? Can you go back and forth?
We could, but we're not going to do that, no. We have,
So you're going to have 20 in your group.
Yes,
And
20
the
in
middle
high
school's
school,
got to
9
find
through
out
12.
whatever they can get.
yes, and they have quite a few already really interested.
Only 80 in the school, and that means about 30 or 40 are playing volleyball. That's pretty cool. I think you're in the right.
We do join with P. Ross, K through 8 or pre-K through 8. And
And I think, truthfully, I think that's probably a good thing. You're in the
yeah.
right time of the year.
Yeah.
No competition, really.
yeah, so she actually has 30 that have shown interest and have signed up for middle school. So
That's more of a nightmare there. That's a
she's got
management
some work
nightmare.
to do, and I'm going to help her.
How many volleyballs does it take to have a practice? I mean, if you're going around practicing doing this and that, you'd need 5 or 6, 7 in a bag, wouldn't you? Remember the old days we pulled
at
the balls out of the bags, Brad? We didn't put them on the fancy stuff. You went down, they threw the bag out, and you picked your balls out, everybody went and warmed up.
I would want every player to have a ball.
Okay.
That's preferable. But, we've had to skimp by some and share.
You think through it, and you think of Pele and soccer players who do things, run around with their neighborhoods with the balls, and they kick them up and they get them up. Yeah, I guess if you're a setter or whatever, you could carry a ball everywhere you go and practice.
Oh, yeah.
Get familiar with the
For
ball.
sure. Just
And
find a wall and set your little heart out.
Yeah, you won't be able to spike much. But
No.
Mama won't like that much, or Dad. That'd be bad. What happened to the living room? That's where it's at. Okay. You start your season middle of August.
Yes.
Okay.
And our floor is being refinished, so
Is that
we'll
the
be out
basketball
of,
gym?
Yes, we'll be out of that gym practicing
Who's
elsewhere.
paying for that?
I think it's Morgan.
Morgan County Schools or Athletic Fund?
It's Morgan County, yeah.
So there's an athletic
They're on a
fund.
rotation.
So my boy over here, my Sean Bassler or whatever his name is, he has an athletic fund.
There is an athletic fund for major expenses.
Okay. How do I get my volleyball team some of that money? I'm working. Or these kids, I don't know. I guess what I'm really asking is, I've worked with some athletic funds in my day, ones with several $100,000 in them. And the bottom line is you come down and you have to just make a budget that allows even your most minor sports some money.
Well, we're talking about Coalfield. You know where most of it goes.
Football.
Huh?
Football.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that. I'm not bad, as long as they give something to the minor sports, but I get that. I get that. Huh?
Making me a little uneasy.
Making you angry? Yeah.
No, uneasy.
Well, no, you're
Our
fine.
major goal right now, other than to raise money for our team, is to get our locker room refinished. I don't know if Ryan touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know softball doesn't typically use that. They use the one in the field house, but it is
They're
way
expensive.
outdated.
They're expensive.
Yes, we do have the lockers in there, but
I want to say we spent, women's lockers at Oak Ridge, probably spent $30,000, and then at Anderson County football, what do you think, Brad, 100,000?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Well, they got a lot, there's no name.
I don't care, it's still dollars.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the school spent, I'm saying to rebuild a locker room costs money,
oh yeah, yeah. And
even if you do it cheap. Yeah.
we need lots of sponsors from the community for that. So, Lord willing, we get enough sponsors from our community, we're going to set some to the locker room itself.
It's a small town, too. It's
It
hard.
is.
I mean, you got
It
2 or
is.
3 families that
We
do
got
a lot.
heavy hitters, so community
Yeah.
is everything to Coalfield, and they have always come through.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Brad, we can put you down for a locker?
Said it.
Private, yeah, exactly. You're trying,
For sure,
aren't you, buddy?
yeah.
You are. We're going to get a box cast of the show, okay? It'll have both teams on. But you get this box cast, and you can text it out. You don't have to look at it on TV. You can copy and paste and send out text to everybody in Coalfield.
Nice.
That way they can look at it a little bit.
Very nice.
So we need to get some money to the volleyball program.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need my help coaching, but they need my help raising money. I told the other team I will. We'll look at it. Might be able to do some kind of joint auction. Get both teams. These kids, they got some bodies in the volleyball program. 20 kids out pushing cards and doing stuff, getting on TV.
Yeah.
So you go down to Artie's, you say, we need a $20 gift certificate. And you bring it back, and we take 40 certificates. We get on here, and we sell them to Oak Ridgers, Clinton, anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we raise $1,500, $2,000 for you in one night, 3 hours.
Nice.
We've done it a lot. We haven't done it the last 3 or 4 years. I think the biggest one we did was $6,700 with Aaron, and we've never had one under $2,000.
That is very nice.
But the kids just got to go get the cards. Oak Ridge, to help out.
I'll work my girls.
Coalfield, and you just talk to Brad, he'll fix it up. Coalfield, we got to give Brad a little bit for the time, but, there's a lot more money than what Brad charges. I think that we could do that. I want to help the small schools. I wanted to help Coalfield basketball a few years ago, but never could get it done. But really, women's sports, volleyball, softball, stuff like that really needs to get some community support.
Yeah.
And we know how to raise money.
Yes.
We're good at that.
Great.
So that's what we're going to do. Right, Brad? What's he saying?
He's shaking his head yes.
Brad, you get $300 for the production time because you got to pay your bills too. But there's all that. But we need to get this out and raise some money. I can get some sponsors. We can do it.
That'd be awesome.
Well, that's what we need to do these things for our community. We do a lot in Oak Ridge, lots.
Yes.
And we need to do a
I
little
have a
bit more.
nephew at Oak Ridge.
Really? How old?
He's going to be a sophomore, Malik Howard.
Okay. They're giving us 15 seconds.
Okay.
You get the last word, Jessica. And I want to say it's Jessica Stubbs. I got the name right in the volleyball program, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think? What do you want to say? Kofi, you need more players? We come on
No
out?
more players. We've got our players. We just need community sponsors to help
Community
make
support.
this season possible. Yeah.